As the Harris campaign moves full steam ahead tonight, we're learning more about her stance on key issues. Erica Meltzer is the national editor for Chalkbeat. She's joining us live to discuss Vice President Harris's record on education. Erica, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
There are stark differences between the vice president's stance and Trump and the Republicans, for that matter, aren't there, as far as education is concerned, at least?
Yes, absolutely. The Republican platform really leans into parental rights, universal school choice. They're promising to roll back new protections for LGBTQ students. And they're also saying that they want to remove funding from schools that teach what they term critical race theory or radical gender ideology. In contrast, Kamala Harris has talked about wanting to raise teacher pay, increase funding for schools, increase the diversity of teachers, and step up civil rights enforcement in schools.
If we remember back at the presidential debate back in 2019, when Kamala Harris faced President Joe Biden at the time, they were a little bit kind of iffy on the busing situation because Kamala Harris has experience with that.
Yes, she was bused as a child as part of an integration program in the school system that she attended, and Biden had opposed court-mandated integration efforts, and she has had some interesting ideas around encouraging desegregation. As we know, a lot of American schools have resegregated with the end of court mandates. I would be a little surprised to see a really aggressive federal push on that, but I think she's definitely a candidate who, as president, would be sympathetic to efforts to create more integrated schools and look for targeted ways to use federal influence.
And she's a lot more inclusive. She wants to not cut back on Head Start funding and things like that the Republican Party does want to do.
Yes, the Republican Party has talked about cutting funding for Head Start. Doesn't necessarily see a government role in childcare, whereas she talks a lot about affordable childcare, the importance of preschool. She's also talked about free college, at least like 2 years of free college. You know, all of these things would require conversations with Congress, but I think you would see a very different emphasis.
And she's a friend to teachers.
Absolutely. One of her first endorsements came from the American Federation of Teachers. She's scheduled to address them later this week. That's a really key constituency for her. And part of her platform when she ran back in 2019 was a substantial pay raise for teachers. And I think it would certainly be interesting to see if those ideas resurface again.
Well, that's the thing, Erica. You know, a lot of these presidential candidates have a whole lot that they want to bring to the table, and they want to do this and they want to do that. But once they get into office, how realistic is that they can make that happen?
That's a really good question. It's going to depend a lot on who controls Congress. It's going to depend a lot on the budget situation. And as you said, there's a lot of challenges facing the country. And one of the things we haven't talked about is we see a lot of unfinished work in COVID recovery in our schools. And that's going to be another thing demanding attention. Are we going to continue federal funding for some of the interventions like tutoring and summer school that are going to be going away with the expiration of COVID relief?
And what is the reason why you decided to look into this education, her feelings about education?
Well, at Chalkbeat, that's what we cover is education. And I think realistically, that's not the most dominant issue this election cycle. I think we're going to be talking about the economy, but it's really important. It touches everyone, and it is a key issue that distinguishes the Republicans and the Democrats.
Will we see you doing an article on the Republicans moving forward?
We do have a article up on the Republican platform, and we're definitely going to be doing more coverage going forward, digging into more details about each of these proposals.
Sounds good, Erica. Appreciate it. With Chalkbeat, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.